Welcome back to the Season 3 World Championship live from Los Angeles, California. And it's time to find out which teams will be facing off in next week's 4 quarterfinal matches. And to guide us through the selection process, please welcome Riot's Redbeard and Magus.
Thank you, Shocks, and thank you to everyone. It's been a wild tournament so far. But, you know, before we get the selection process underway, I want to say thank you to all the fans here today and all the fans, I mean, millions of fans around the world who have tuned in to watch the Season 3 action. You've all helped make the first 6 days of competition a truly incredible experience. So, again, we thank you guys. And you know, now the moment that we've all been waiting for. Let's see which teams are going to be facing off in the quarterfinals.
Right now, I'd like to welcome the captain of China's Royal Club, Tabe, to the stage to select his team's matchup in the quarterfinals. First up, please draw your match position. You can draw your match position. You're playing in bottom 1.
Oh, damn.
And now, you can find out who you'll be playing against. Hold this. It's going to be...
Whoa.
It's going to be OMG. Thank you. All right, now I'd like to welcome OMG's captain, Sam, to the stage. Congratulations, gentlemen. Give it up one more time for Royal and OMG. Wow. And now I'd like to welcome the captain of North America's Cloud9 High to the stage. You can draw the number of your match. Match number bottom 2. Now let's find out your opponent. Cloud9 will be facing Fnatic, and I'd like to welcome Fnatic's captain, Expeke, to the stage. Congratulations, guys. Give it up one more time for Cloud9 and Fnatic. And now please welcome the captain of Korea's Najin Black Sword, Song, to the stage to select his team's match. Welcome, you can draw your match. It's going to be top 2. And now we're going to find out who will be your opponent in the quarterfinal. Gambit. Najin Black Sword will be taking on Gambit, so I'd like to welcome Gambit's captain Alex Ish to the stage. Guys, give it up one more time for Najin Black Sword and Gambit, guys.
Suspenseful.
Suspenseful. Gotta find out this checks out. Finally, I'd like to welcome the captain of the Gamma Bears, the #1 seed from the Southeast Asia and Taiwan region, to the stage. Please give it up for Wins. Welcome, sir. You can draw your match. Okay, good. Top one. And the opponent. SK Telecom T1. Glad that checks out. And now I'd like to welcome SK Telecom T1's captain, Poo Mandu, to the stage. Congratulations, gentlemen. Give it up one more time for the Gamma Bears and SK Telecom T1. Some great matchups. Thank you, Redbeard and Magus. And now that we know the 4 quarterfinal matchups, let's send it over to Quickshot and the guys at the analyst desk for a breakdown of the bracket.
Thank you very much, Sharks. And there you have it, the 4 quarterfinal matchups for the Season 3 World Championship. Guys, let's take a look at this bracket. I was tired. I was. I am no longer tired at all.
For people that have no view backstage, we were literally just jumping up and down for making predictions.
I turned into a 10-year-old girl and I was screaming at the top of my lungs. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the games now, all right?
Yeah.
The first matchup that I want to highlight for the lovely audience that we have outside, for everybody watching, North America versus Europe. Cloud9 versus Fnatic. Now, I personally am looking forward to this matchup. Both regions' #1 seeds coming into this tournament. I think, considering all the rivalry that we have, it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to finally being able to settle in the quarterfinals. However, I want to get your take on it. I'm going to start at the end of the line. We'll work our way down. Everyone gets their turn. Double lift, what's your say?
Well, as you can see from All Stars, NA's going to win, and Sneaky's going to get a pentakill. Unbelievable.
Crepo?
How can I disagree with double? Nah, dude, come on. Fnatic.
I think Fnatic has an edge. Again, they have a very unique play style, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. This is actually the matchup that I really wanted in the quarterfinals to see, so I'm really pumped. I think it'll be a good one. It'll be a good one.
It's going to be an incredible best of 3, and it's a mix of, I think, very different styles where Cloud9 goes ham as a team pretty hard, and they have a lot kind of on the back of Meteos to carry that through, whereas you've kind of got the split push mid lane show from Fnatic with Peke, so I just kind of want to see which one does better.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. The winner of this game will play a Chinese team, because on the other half of their side of the bracket, it is going to be Royal taking on OMG. This is going to be a rematch of those LPL qualifiers. Double Lift, what's your take on this quarterfinal matchup?
So it's going to be a rematch of the Chinese playoffs winners finals, and that is going to be insane because I think OMG were considered the favorites coming into the Chinese playoffs. Then they got upset by Royal, and now you don't really even know who's good anymore because Royal has their star AD Uzi, and OMG has been just looking so strong. It's going to be really interesting because these guys are so familiar with each other. They've been playing with each other for what, 2 seasons? So I'm gonna expect some interesting strategies. I don't expect really standard play because that would just be, that'd be crazy to do that in quarterfinals.
OMG beats Royal. Royal goes to rules brackets. Royal comes back. Royal beats OMG. OMG goes 7-1 in group stage. Meet Royal. Royal plays Twitch Annie mid. This is going to be good.
It's going to be really wild. And like you said, these teams know each other so well, and that always produces the very interesting mind games. So maybe battle of who gets to pick support Annie. I don't know. It's going to be a crazy one.
The crazy is probably the best term I can use for it as well. I think you summed it up pretty much succinctly, Monty. It's teams who know each other intimately, and they've got to do something pretty special to make sure they win this BO3.
Right, on the top half of the bracket, the next 2 quarterfinal matchups. The first one I would like to highlight, Najin Sword taking on Gambit Gaming. This is a Korea versus EU. Before I get the comments, I would like to highlight that Gambit has a pretty good track record against Korean teams on lands. I want to remind everybody of IEM Katowice, bouncing back against both of the CG Enter squads at the time. I'm not saying anything other than, if anyone could do it, Gambit can. What's your take on the matchup?
The most interesting thing about this one is that nobody knows exactly how strong Sword is. They just know, okay, their roster seems really strong, and they made some changes recently, dropping McNoon and then have a new mid, Nagne, and nobody even knows exactly how strong they are, but I personally leaning against Prey. I know from experience this guy's really good, and I think he's going to give Gambit a lot of trouble, just single-handedly, whether or not the rest of his team performs.
Completely unknown, or well, not unknown, but unscouted Korean team against Gambit, who doesn't care who they play against because they have a signature style. As the Russian overlord Korean Slayer, did look shaky though. So my money's still probably on Sword, but I want to see that matchup.
Probably a good matchup for Gambit in that regard.
Yeah.
Not necessarily too phased by their opponent's style.
Yeah, again, what these guys have said, Sword's kind of the big question mark here. We don't know. We haven't seen too much of Nagne, the laner that they're probably going to run in the mid lane. And Gambit did look pretty shaky, but we just have no read on Sword.
Are you on or off the Sword train? I just want to keep tabs.
Which trains are you?
I guess I'm on the Sword train,
Okay,
but
just checking.
I really, I mean, I've seen all their recent games, and I still don't even know. It's worth saying that at the beginning of Champion Summer, the esports press in Korea, most of the pro players, and even I thought that Sword would win Champion Summer, and then they didn't even make it out of the group stage, so that was a big surprise. But on paper, their lineup has always looked strong. They had play calling issues. Have they fixed them? They've had some time.
We'll
So
find
it's a
out on
big
Monday or
mystery.
Tuesday, that's for sure.
Yeah, the story I actually like about this matchup is that both these teams were in the Season 2 World Playoffs.
Yeah.
Sword lost to TPA in the quarterfinals, then Gambit lost to TPA in the semifinals.
That's a great point.
And so I kind of want to see how far these two teams go, because they both lost to the same opponent.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and of course the winner of Najin Black Sword versus Gambit will take on one of these two teams. We'll start with the Gamma Bears. They are sitting at the very, very top of the bracket, and they have the incredibly difficult task of taking on SK Telecom T1 in their quarterfinal best of 3. Double Lift, what's your take?
Well, while there isn't that much research done into Gamma Bears, from what I have seen, they do play really slow, which is exactly the opposite of what you need to do to play against SKT. So in the quarterfinals, not just in this match, I expect a lot of cheese, especially coming from underdogs like Gamma Bears, who people might underestimate or write off. Like, you're going to see a lot of cheese. I guarantee you. Maybe not in the quarterfinals, like too much, but definitely as the tournament progresses, you're going to, well, I shouldn't say cheese. I should say unique strategies.
Unconventional play.
Unconventional play.
Poor Bears, though, like, they didn't even have any... It was predicted already. Had to go on stage, guaranteed drawing SKTT1. Who wants to do that? Especially after this last game where 12-minute inhibitor. Who does that at World Finals?
SKT does.
Apparently so.
I got to agree with these gentlemen. I think Gamma Bears, though, they do have upset potential. I think like Najin Sword, we don't have a terrific read on them, and who knows what they've been preparing, so...
Just before we get Freak's input, if there's one thing we have seen from the Korean teams is that the early adaptation, not 100% the strongest.
true.
So we'll have to see if Gamma Bears can surprise them. That could play into their favor.
true.
See, I actually like this matchup for Bears because look what happened last year. The #1 seed comes out and wins the World Championship, and everyone underrates them because they came in from an unknown region. Of course, we're speaking to TPA, and of course, Bears are here in their stead. I'm just saying the exact same thing was here. Here's the amazing Korean team, whether it's Sword or Frost, if you want to count last year, and TPA wins it all. I think Bears can just retrace those steps.
Going to be very interesting to see. It is getting late. I cannot believe the amount of energy I just got from that draw, but it's not over yet. We're going to send it over to Joe, who is hanging out with Hai and Meteos from North America's #1 seed in this tournament, Cloud9.
Thanks a lot, Quick Shot, and I would like to officially welcome Cloud9 jungler, Meteos, and the mid laner Hai to the interview lounge for this one. First of all, guys, it's kind of an easy question to start off with. Fnatic, you've just drawn there in the quarterfinals. What's your thoughts on that matchup?
Well, I'm pretty happy we got a team from Group B. Group A looked a lot stronger going through the tournament, but I was kind of hoping for Gambit because backstage I was talking to Alex Each, and he said he really wanted to get us. So I wanted to get them too, but I guess Fnatic's better than SKT or OMG.
You think your play style, works in your favor against a team like Fnatic? We heard from the analysts that they have a play style that's very hard to nail down to say this is how they play. Do you think you can work with that?
I think we can do well against Fnatic. We've scrimmed them and we've watched all their games, so I think we'll do pretty well.
So let's talk about preparation because you've not really got that much time. I want to first ask you what you've been doing in the lead up to today, to the draw, and what you're going to do basically tomorrow because that's the time that you've got to prepare for these games.
Well, for the past few days, we've been scrimming the other top 8 teams already because we aren't going to play them right away. So we've been playing against Royal and Gamma Bears and them. And we did play Fnatic and Gambit. So we're probably just going to keep scrimming the teams that we don't play versus, obviously, and watch every game they played throughout this tournament so far make sure we have our bans and picks ready, and basically do what we've been doing throughout the LCS, practicing the same way and preparing the same way.
So I have to ask you, Hai, you were up there on the stage, or more importantly, waiting backstage there for a while the first cards were actually drawn out. Now, which teams were you really fearing in that one? Which teams were you hoping were going to come out at the time when you weren't the one picking the card?
We've played against the Chinese team a lot in scrims, and they've played very well. And watching OMG play throughout this tournament so far, they're extremely good. So when Royal picked OMG, I was super happy that we don't have a chance of picking them. And I did want one of the European teams because they just felt weaker than the other teams. They're probably still really strong, and I don't know if we can beat them. But I was hoping for one of the European teams, and that's what we got. So,
guys, you guys are going to have a lot of new fans, I think. You're the sole representative of North America, so I'll give you a bit of time here to, drum up a bit of extra support coming into your quarterfinals, and thank those that have been following you this awesome summer split that you've had.
We appreciate all the fans we've gotten. Hopefully the hype train doesn't stop here. Hopefully we can take all the way to the Worlds, or the finals. If not, we did our best, and we hope to not let you guys down.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. Let's hear a bit of noise here for Cloud9. Good luck in your quarterfinal game against Fnatic. The world will be watching you, so no pressure on that one. So, guys, we're going to send it back over to Trevor and the guys at the analyst desk running through the schedule for all the quarterfinal games.
All right, the teams have been locked in, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be getting that schedule on your screens in just a moment's time. I believe we're still tidying up the graphics for the time being. As soon as we get this rolling, we'll be underway.
One thing I like about this, actually, just looking at the brackets on my own piece of paper here, is we think about sort of regional disparities and what teams fight each other. So there's the age-old statistic of TSM having a rough time against Koreans. Cloud9 won't fight a Korean team until the finals. Granted, if they make it there or whatnot, but there's no oh, NA will beat a Korean team finally until you get to the grand finals, assuming Cloud9 does well.
Yeah, one of the things that'll work out quite nicely about this as well is we've got that sort of China versus the Western teams in the bottom half of the bracket, and then sort of Korea as well as one European, one Southeast Asian team in the top half of the bracket. Whoever's going to advance, it's quite a clear regional difference, which works out nicely. Let's actually take a look at those quarter-final matches. Our very first best of three features Cloud9 versus Fnatic, followed by Najin versus Gambit.
Yeah, and then, of course, on Tuesday, it'll be Gamma Bears versus SK Telecom T1, followed by Royal Club versus OMG.
Yeah, the quarterfinals kick off on Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Central European Summer Time. Now, let's send it back to Shox, who's hanging out on the main stage, ready to wrap up the Season 3 group stage.
Thanks very much, Quick Shot. Now, I can't believe that we're already done with week 1 of the Season 3 World Championship. Congratulations to the 4 teams to make it out of the group stage and into the quarterfinals, of course, OMG, SKT, Fnatic, and Gambit. Now remember, if you missed any of the group stage action, head over to lolesports.com for all the games, the stats, and the tournament bracket. Then head over to lolesports.com/tickets and grab your seats to the semifinals, where the final 4 teams will fight for their chance to hoist the Summoners Cup. And that officially ends week 1 of the Season 3 League of Legends World Championship. So from all of us here in Los Angeles, good night, thanks for watching, and we'll see you Monday for the quarterfinals.